Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. As I said, we'll have a look at the weekend's action today, what's left of it. Sadly, we've lost Down Royal. Looking forward to that. But hey, we'll get to see it next weekend anyway, won't we? So it's not so bad. Just tidy up just a little bit from the ante-post roundup there. I did forget Mambeg Genius, left him off, so it's not part of the Cheltenham squad. But yeah, we played him ante-post. We've got 1 point on him at 20-1 for the Hennessy, and he's now 8-1. We're already 6 points down. Gaelic Warrior and Impair a pass for the Turners. They're in the recycle bin. Hopefully, I'm clutching to this straw with Gaelic Warrior that he might jump sideways first time out, and then we can go in a little recycle bin and restore him, can't we, to the stayers hurdle? But we'll see. Yeah, and just to give you an idea of how many points I generally have, say, on these championship races at Cheltenham, looking at sort of 7 or 8 points per race in total, generally. Can, on occasion, max out at about 14. That'd be about the limit. Generally, be looking at 7 or 8, and sometimes it can be less than that. You know, if we played this ante-post well, sometimes there's just no need, so you might only end up with 3 or 4 points on that particular race. So that's that done. We'll try and not ramble too much. We'll try and keep the sort of weekend previews a little shorter, but you know what I'm like, so we'll see. Yeah, so no Down Royal. Weatherby hangs in the balance. You just hope Weatherby goes ahead. I feel bad for, Mouse Connections, Gentleman's Game. Who sent him over there. Be a shame if it's for nothing. So let's hope Weatherby's on. Alright then. We'll start off at 12 o'clock in Diva Bleu. Yeah, I'd say outside Ireland and Nicky's stable, this is the most exciting horse going novice hurdling. Yeah, he could well be contesting the Supremo Ballymore come March. I'd expect this horse to be put in around 49. You know, so he's a no bet really, but it'd be interesting to see him anyway. If they did happen to put him in at say 4-6 or better, it'd be a bet, I'd say, but I'd say that's unlikely. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on anyway. I'd imagine there'll be some long faces down in Ollie's Yard there if he gets turned over. Ascot, looking soft, heavy in places, I think. I think most of these meetings are going to be soft to heavy, if they're on. Soft to heavy at best, I think. Ascot 240, there's a 2 mile novice hurdle. If you remember, I mentioned that point to point list. There's a horse off that point to point list in this race. It's called Tell Her the Name for Ben Pauling. Tends to be quite tough going at Ascot, especially on the hurdles track, this sort of ground. It's a 3 mile point to point winner that will stand him in good stead. Generally, these horses off this list will go bumpers first. Ben's going straight over hurdles with this horse. So that's probably a little bit more of an ask than just say to go into a bumper there. But still, I'd imagine, say no prices yet, I'd imagine is a decent price. Some interesting types in this race. It'll be an interesting race to look back on. Pyrotechnic kind of catches the eye. Don't know why, it just does. For Gary Moore, he does well, I think, down there. 10 lengths Tom, he's got a bit of a reputation, he's got some nice form, he looks promising. Nicky's got one in there, so yeah. But yeah, he'd be the selection, tell her the name. $3.45 Ascot, Monbeg Genius. Don't do it, John Joe, don't. At the moment, it's also entered up for the 2-4 race, the Colin Parker Memorial on Sunday at Carlisle. I'd prefer to see him in that. You look at this race he's in, and he should be winning it. And we don't want him to win before the Hennessy, do we really? Every pound counts there. You don't really want to be going there under a penalty. I think he might be better. Possibly he's better going left-handed. Possibly. But he should be winning this. So, if he acts up here, next week's video is cancelled. I'd be, I won't be backing him, and I'll just hope if he runs here. I hope he settles out the back somewhere, stays on under a kind ride after the leaders are away and gone into a nice sort of third beaten 4 or 5 lengths. That'd be lovely. So we'll see. Yeah. Don't do it, John Joe, don't. The best action is definitely Weatherby. Just hope this is on, we do. I guess if it's not, they'll probably reschedule a few races there, but like I say, like Mouse connections to that horse, they've travelled over for this race. The 150 mares listed hurdle is an interesting race. That's a good. We've got You Wear It Well, Lucia and Katira there. It's only £3 separates these on the ratings. There's not much in it at all on official ratings. Now, I'd say Lucia and Katira, held in very high regard. I'd expect they've got the most scope. They'd be the most likely to take a big jump forward. Okay, so any of these three could win, and it wouldn't be at least a bit surprising. But as far as a bet goes, tell her the name. You Wear It Well is the outsider of the three at 3-1. He's heavy in the description. She loves this sort of deep ground. She's just kind of relentless. She just keeps galloping. I'd imagine, she's going to jump out, and in this ground they might struggle to pick her up. If you like, sort of in running trading, I'd say she'd be a good bet at 3s. I'd say I'd be surprised if she doesn't trade a fair bit shorter than 3s in running. But yeah, given conditions there, she might take a bit of pegging back in this. They might just struggle to pick her up. Sometimes I know I'm in Yorkshire, so I'm not a million miles away from Wetherby. It's a beautiful day today. It's lovely. Um, I don't know if there's any rain forecast tomorrow, but there's heavy in the description at the moment. So if it does rain a bit tomorrow, it's got to be heavy on it. And if it doesn't, you can get that where you're drying out from heavy ground and it starts to dry. It can become a bit gluey and sticky, can't it? And when that happens, sometimes you'll get a pace bias, and the horses in front there are kind of hard to peg back sometimes. So yeah, she'd be the selection there. Tell her. So you wear it well at 3-1. £2.25 race, West Yorkshire Hurdle. This, I mean, with like saying with the pace bias thing, I would kind of suit Dashel Drasher. He'll keep going, but I'd still expect Time Mill to pick him up after the last. Got a great record, fresh. Stables in great form, best form they've been in for a few years now. So I think he's 2-1. That's fine. I'd expect he'll go off a fraction or two shorter than that, maybe sort of 13-8 around there. Yeah, not the most exciting bet, but he'd be the selection. He should take the beating in that. And then the big one, the Charlie Hall. Now, just the 4 runners in this. Brave Man's Game, second highest rated stage chaser anyway in the country, in the land. Should take the beating, won this last year. But I like this Gentleman's Game. Like I said before, once upon a time I won this at 33s for the RSA. This is an ask, isn't it? But he gets £6 off Brave Man's Game, which leaves him with £12 to find. Okay. Now, the Brave Man's Game we're going to see on Boxing Day is not the Brave Man's Game we're going to see maybe tomorrow. Or the Brave Man's Game we'll see in the Gold Cup. Last year, I can't remember now, that the horses he beat there, second and third, I'd be fancying Gentleman's Game to be beating those horses too. He won by 3 or 4 lengths. He won well, but on this ground, race fitness has got to come into it, I think Paul were talking, he seemed to be leaning more towards the Haydock race, and I think he's running here just in the fear that he gets Haydock and it's like a bog. So he'd rather take his chance here, gives him that bit longer to freshen him up for the King George, which is his big target. So he might just be a gallop short here. Mouse, this Gentleman's Game, he's had his run. He'll be ready to rock and roll. 5-1. As I mentioned, there's only 4 runners, so that's going to hold the price up a bit more than if there were 5 runners, because there's no each way betting. But still, I think 5-1 is a bit of value there. I can see him finishing He might go off. If there were 5 runners, I'd be saying 5-2, but with a 4, maybe 7-2, around that mark. I think somewhere between 5-2 and 7-2 he might end up. So I think you're getting a bit with 5s, and yeah, I mean, class counts for a lot, doesn't it? When it's all said and done, you can look at all these numbers and stuff, and class counts for a lot. And Brave Man's Game is a class animal, but this gentleman's game is, I think, the best is yet to come from him, and yeah, I think he'll give him a good race anyway. I'm not saying he's definitely going to win or anything like that, but I think he's going to run a big race here, and I think 5-1's a bit of value. If you do like him for this race, I will look in his 66s for the Gold Cup. He could do worse than chuck a bit of change at that. We're not going to add him officially to the squad, but yeah, you could do worse than chuck a bit of change at him at 66s. Given his profile, he's not really had a full season's racing yet, so he comes with risks attached. But I think he'll be ready to rock and roll tomorrow, and at 5-1, yeah, we'll chance him. Like I say, I think race fitness it counts for a lot when there's heavy in the ground anyway, and he might just catch the favourite out. And then Sunday at Cork, so this is Friday morning, so I've not got the decks yet. I had a quick flick through there. 2:05, it's a 3-mile novice hurdle. Croke Park is entered in that. Got a big reputation from the point to points. He ran behind, you ought to know, in a bumper. You ought to know, left him for dead that day, but that was kind of a test of speed. You look at this horse, he did stay on nicely, a fair distance back, but he did sort of plug on behind him there. He's a great big strapping 3-mile chaser, this you only have to look at him. He won his 2-mile maiden well. It's a big, strong galloping horse, this. He did jump out to the left a bit, which would be a bit of a concern. He's stepping up from 2-mile to 3-mile here, but he does look, I just think he'll just keep rolling this horse from the front. I like him, I like Croke Park. I think, if he takes this, I can see him going to, say, that Limerick race at Christmas, the 3-mile hurdle there, and he could make up into an Albert Bartlett type. Yeah, big, strong galloping horse, this. He's nice, he is. So I like him. And then the 3:15 Cork Grand National. Now you might remember, I think it was the Munster National, I did a video around this time, and he entered up, so I put him up as a selection for that, and he didn't go. So we'll go with him again. There's some interesting types here. It's competitive handicap. I'd give a shout out to Ida's Boy. Yeah, I like him. Walk Away got well backed for that Munster National and came out, so he's interesting, likely race for Henry. Sir Bob is a horse I played a little with last year. He looks dangerous. But the selection is Royal Thief, as I mentioned before, is 4 from 12. All them 4 have come right-handed, and he's 3 from 3 on his seasonal reappearance. Last season, on his reappearance after near on 2 years off the track, he won a 3-mile handicap chase, be 10 lengths, he's down off 1, 2, 3. He's £10 higher, so 1, 3, 3. Maybe he can still Maybe he's got this in him off that. So right-handed first time out's the time to catch him. They put him in 6-1 favourite, which is a little bit disappointing. But it's not the worst price in the world, and I think maybe, I don't know. I don't think he'll end up favourite. Like I say, walk away got well back last time. I could see him maybe getting backed into favourite. Ida's boy would have a good chance. But yeah, Royal Thief, yeah. I think he has to be the selection here. And that's it. So that's not bad. 20 minutes, we're done. So yeah, let's hope Weatherby's on anyway. Good luck for the weekend. Hope you find some winners, and I'll see you again next week. Right, thanks for your time. Bye.